What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Let's Deal With It Talk Show. Tonight we will be dealing with Betty Wright and Shirley Murdoch and Shirley Brown, and why all the women are still dealing with the things that they are dealing with in these relationships. So go ahead and tag, like, share, invite everybody, and let them know we're on. And we're on all the way in Ocala, Florida, with my daddy, Dr. Darryl Talbert.
Yay. Let's deal with it.
That's making it easy. Oh, we're going to deal with it tonight. Just making it easy for the queen of woman to get my baby's love. Set your watch party. That's what we're doing. So set your watch party.
Tag me in this. You tag me in this. So I can go to the watch party.
Can I do that? You said tag you in the watch party there?
Yeah, that's why I can create my own.
I'm not a tag.
Okay, I don't see it on my timeline.
Tag on your timeline.
I'm checking. I don't see it yet.
Well, no, come on, y'all. What's going on? Let's check out the comments there. Hey, Asia. Hey, Sonya. Where y'all from? Can y'all let us know where you from? I know California is in the house. Virginia is in the house. Who else is in the house on tonight? How many of y'all been the cleanup woman? Daddy, some of them been the cleanup woman now. If you would like for No Longer on Mute and Let's Deal With to come to a city near you, let us know. I'm out here in Ocala, Florida, where I'm just hanging out, chopping it up with Dad and Mom, and we're just enjoying ourselves. Oh, Daddy, first time, New York.
Hey, New York, how you doing? God bless you. I'm Sharon. Yeah, Sharon.
Oh, she's DMV. Come on.
Hey, Scott. I'm related to some Scots. My mom is a Scot. So, Sharon, you and I may be related by blood.
Okay, we got one more. Daddy, what's the next one? What's the next one? Oh, how many remember this one?
From Maryland, Tennessee. Amen. Go on, Tennessee.
Come on, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Oh, we're going to talk about it tonight.
Amen. I've been too many times. See that? Saying Asia say she's
Come
been
on,
there
Asia.
too many times. Hey.
I started rocking to this daddy.
Hey, she trying to make me relapse back in the day.
Daddy, well,
hey. Hey. Yeah, we're going to deal with it.
By marriage. Scott is my married man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Kansas. What's up, Kansas? I know it's some more people on here. I got some Texas. Where my Texas family at? North Carolina. It's happening every day, and people want to hear about it, baby. You see, it's the story of a young girl making love for the very first time. Now, come on, talk to us. How many of y'all been a Betty Wright? I played it for my mother. I gotta tell you a little bit about my mother. You see, I come from one of those pretty large families, and I'm the baby of the family. Hey, Kira. I'll never forget the way she looked at Austin in the house. Come on. Sing that song. You know her mama was holy when she said that. Now, I got one more for y'all. I got one more for y'all. One more. What other Shirley Brown Shirley murder song y'all know? Are you a Betty Wright? A Shirley Brown? A Shirley Murdoch? Who else we got, Daddy? Who else?
Who else did you say was enough? I forget exactly who had in there.
Come on. She said she know a few clean up women. Okay. Come on. You know a few. Okay, you know a few. Come on here. All right, let's go this way. Let's go this way. Let's go this way. Come on. Cause we're gonna deal with these tonight. And y'all gonna be mad. Come on, Shirley Murdoch. Come on, Shirley Murdoch. I think it was Shirley Brown was the other one there. Because Shirley Brown, that was the one that I had a whole issue with. I had a whole issue with Shirley Brown. Y'all old folks, y'all get to drinking to get some of that good old corn liquor in your drink.
Corn liquor.
Put that corn liquor in there. Woo! Hello. What's Shirley calling Barbara? Barbara, this is Shirley. Come on, rock with us tonight. I know who I am. But the reason I'm calling you is because I was going through my old man's pockets this morning. She was going through her old man's pockets. Find your name and number. So woman to woman, I don't think it's being any more than fair than to call you and let you know where I'm coming from. Now, Barbara, I don't know how you're going to take this. That was whether you Barbara. Good or come out of a bad one. You see, it really doesn't make any difference. She don't care. But how many of y'all being Barbara or Shirley? That the man you're in love with, he's mine. From the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Come on here. The bed he sleeps in and every piece of food. Look. Hey, Bruce.
What up, Sir Bruce? Man, I heard your song. Powerful, man. You can sing, man.
So I'm telling you these things. You ready, Kylie? And woman to woman, I think you'll understand just how much I'll do to keep it. Woman to woman, if you've ever been in love. Okay, we just gonna stop right there. We're gonna stop right there. Because first of all, we got one more for you. One more for you.
Dale, que Carlos.
All right, come on. One more for y'all.
Hey.
That's a groove right there.
Oh yeah, we're gonna deal with it tonight.
That look good side by side though. That look good side by side right there.
Oh yeah, it look good now. We're gonna make it right.
Carlos, you got a house in Old Town, Ocala. Got in my city. She make me feel like I'm a celebrity, Carlos.
Y'all look good, man.
Look, that is celebrity in his own city.
Yeah, the optic star look good for sure.
How you doing tonight, my brother?
I can't complain. How about you? I seen the video you more marching through them cities too. Y'all was deep out there, man.
Yeah, man.
I was street preaching for real. I was deep running walking through them neighborhoods. I didn't know was that Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville bad, man.
I didn't know it looked that bad.
160. Matter of fact, I did research. You remember back in the day, well, you're a little bit young than I am, but when Eazy-E and NWA, they only had like 158 murders back then, and they was considered to be the worst back then with 100. Well, Jacksonville got 160. So they was considered the worst back then in Compton and all of that. What's that telling you about Jacksonville?
Yeah, exactly.
They want to have a whole powwow. Y'all gonna talk about this after the show. What this y'all got going on? We gonna talk about it after the show.
We trying to deal with everything, B.
Yeah, we
gonna deal with it tonight. Loretta, you said it's been a long time coming, baby. We coming for you.
That's like one of my favorite songs right there.
Really? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna break these lyrics down tonight. We got about 2 more minutes, and we're gonna break this thing on. In order for you to get something, you gotta get something. Some women was going for flowers.
Girl,
is that one?
We're dealing with it tonight, baby.
Is that one? And then after she finished that one, she hit him with After the Pain.
Oh yeah.
Hey, she's speaking from truth now.
Yeah, now we got another one. Was she prophesying, Daddy?
That's what she said.
She was decreeing and declaring. Let me find out, Daddy. Loretta, you said I've been delivered. Well, come on, where you from, Loretta? Shanika, you in here tonight. Love you, girl. Shanika Spate, Naja, my big sister, is in here tonight. They in here fighting over man. Yes, girl, that was over there fighting over him.
Hey, listen. Even when the words ain't the best, sometimes when them vocals hit.
Yeah,
that good riding music.
That's the power of music right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we got one more. Okay. Now everybody remember this one, and we're gonna go there. Hey Pamela, where you from?
Oh, this Shirley Murdoch.
Yeah.
Collins already on it. Collins
man, come on, man. Listen, I'm a man. I was born before these times. My mom they had me in the wrong year. I'm supposed to be like a '60s baby. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh yeah, that's Ashley Lake.
20 years, Plant City, Lakeland. What's Lakeland, Daddy?
Down the road. I may have some babies off of that. I don't know about that.
I said what?
Hey, I ain't been married.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'll tell anybody.
Let them know we on.
Hey, listen, as a young man, I prided myself in being a great side dude. So there's no responsibility.
30 seconds on this song. Charlie, you're going to have to be quiet. Lakeland, Florida.
Lakeland, right down the road. Hey, Lakeland, right down the road. Hour
I'm
and a half.
located in Ocala, Florida. That's why I'm
out of Ocala. We're doing the show out of Ocala. We're gonna have some fun, y'all, with this right here. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna break down these lyrics and see what they saying.
See if it's anything worth holding on to.
The night away as we lay. Forgot about tomorrow as we lay. Okay. Well. Let's deal with it on tonight. We got some great conversation going on. And so tonight we're talking to the women. So women, put on your seatbelts, put your wigs on. Some of you may have to throw your wig off or you may get mad at me tonight, but it's okay because we're going to deal with it on tonight. I'm your host, Victoria Nicole Hooks, and I have here my co-host, here, Dr. Darrell Talbot, and my other co-host right there in North Carolina, Collis Bolton. And so we're on here tonight, and we're just going to make this thing work, and we're just going to talk about it. Yes, some of you is like, what? What's she talking about, Betty Wright? Yes, some of us women have been Betty Wright. Some of us has been Shirley Murdoch. Some of us been a Shirley Brown. Some of us have been Sierra, Nicki Minaj. We've been some of everything. And so we're going to deal with it tonight. So that's why I asked the men to talk about this, because I want y'all women to bring in, just tune in, slide in a little bit closer to us so that you can understand where we're coming from and so that we can be better. Women, I want us to be better in our decision making. And this is the year where a lot of stuff will be revealed about who we are and our character. And so we're dealing with the women. Next week, we'll deal with the men. But women, we're dealing with y'all tonight. We're dealing with y'all tonight. So make sure you have set your watch parties. Everyone share. Share. I say set your watch parties because people who are not our friends can see us, and then that also helps build our audience. All right. So we're right here in Ocala, Florida. And so we're just here, just trying to make sure we do what we need to do. So the first lyric that we're going to talk about tonight. Ready, Daddy?
Roll it. Roll it on one.
The first one we're going to talk about is Betty Wright. We got to talk about Betty Wright.
Clean up woman.
Okay. Because Charlie said clean up woman. And we're going to deal with it. Asia said she used to be one of them. I used to be one of them. Not no more. I know that's right. Beat that thing. All right. So we're going to deal with the first verse of a clean up woman. The first verse of a clean up woman is, a clean up woman is a woman who gets all the love we girls leave behind. The reason I know so much about her is because she picked up a man of mine. Now we're gonna stop just right there. Now some of y'all get rooted and y'all get the grooving and shaking, and I was shaking and grooving, and I was riding in the car. I was like, yeah, a clean up woman. Boom, boom.
Hey, come on now.
Rocking.
You know we travel now.
The love that I give, that the love we give the girls that leave behind. Oh no, I ain't giving no love, Daddy.
I heard that.
To leave behind for another woman that she said, and because she picked up a man of mine. That's what she said.
Hey, she kept it real. She's telling y'all how not to lose it. So she gonna give you some tips on.
That's how you can look at it in the reverse way now. Yeah. Don't leave your love behind and she can't be there to clean it up.
Yeah, that's right. Come on, Colin. If there is no spill, there's no need to clean up nothing.
Come on, there ain't no clean up on aisle 9. You ain't spill nothing. Come on now.
Okay, come on. So Colin, work with those four sentences there. A clean up woman is a woman who? Your definition. Go for it.
A clean up woman, as a man, sometimes in relationships and situations when you're trying to, and I'm speaking as a man, like sometimes we're trying to communicate to our significant other, and when we get like disregarded, our feelings don't get heard, we don't have a place to actually feel like we matter, we end up out in the streets, and all it takes is somebody to show you the type of attention that you're not getting at home. And that's that love she's talking about that's left behind. It's because you didn't get the attention at home, and then you go out into the streets and you're getting all the attention that you're trying to get from your wife or your girlfriend, and that's the pretty much the equations for disaster for the most part. So I personally, I was a cleanup dude for a long time, and I took pride in the title because it had all the perks and none of the obligations. I could let you go through whatever you go through with him, and then when you was done with that, you come to me like it was time to pay for something and go out, all the stuff that come with a relationship. I had none of those responsibilities. My only responsibility was to make you feel happy when you was with me, and that's an easy life. And so the cleanup woman has a real easy job until she starts wanting more, which tends to always happen.
Amen.
Okay, what about you, Daddy? Go for it.
Well, that's good. He hit that. And we just keep it real. One thing I like about those old songs is those old songs was real songs. It's not like music today. And then you got to understand the mindset back in those days. I was born in 67. So the mindset of the people back in those days, the women back there, they put up with more back then. They wasn't so easily scattered and shaken, when it came to their man. A lot of times they knew things was going on, but they was going to stay there and fight because that's the old school mindset. You sit
Correct.
there, you fight it out. You don't let nobody come in and take your household. You fight for your man. So a lot of those songs like that, and you hear the woman say, like she said, she knew about the cleanup woman. Like she wasn't crazy, she knew about it. So, but if you really listen to the music back then, it had a message in it. And if you really listen to the message, didn't get caught up in the tunes of the music, they was educating you on some important stuff. And like Carly said, it's so important that you got to understand, we call the cleanup woman, she just got a new name now. The side piece, but that's the cleanup
same thing. Correct.
Yeah, same thing. So in this new generation, they call her the side piece or the side dude. But guess what? It's still the same person. It's the cleanup person, and you have to be careful of those people because they lurk around. Some of them do it intentionally, and some of it is by accident. One thing I always say is this: relationships are built on conversation. And if you in a relationship and y'all don't have that right communication, they go outside and they gotta start conversating with somebody. And at first it's innocent, but once again, relationships is built on time investment. And if y'all begin to talk every day, guess what y'all are investing in this relationship? And next thing you know, you got more time invested with the outside person in relationship than the inside person, and it's gonna get funny after that. Trust me.
Yeah, real funny.
Right. So you gotta understand, and I don't believe now. I'm gonna be careful how I word this. I don't believe that nobody can make nobody cheat, but I do believe that some circumstances are conducive to putting you in a situation
where cheating is almost inevitable.
Thank you. I like how you read my mind.
Correct. It's correct because that level of loneliness that you feel when you're trying to talk to this person, like, because a man not gonna open up to you, but so many times I open up, you shut me down. I go out here and talk to this other woman, and she receives me. It just feels like such a beautiful thing when somebody receives you, because I've been beating my head against this wall with you for so many days, and she gets it the first time I speak it. So now I'm starting to feel more for her than I'm feeling for you. And I don't think women pay enough attention to the fact that those breakdowns in communications with a man consistently puts him in a space where all he wants to do is be somewhere where he could be heard.
Amen.
I don't think they pay attention to that. Because women are always heard. Because 9 times out of 10, even when when y'all don't hear us, we just shut down and shut up, but y'all still get to talk. You know, like,
mighty God.
I heard Chaplin said this, and it's so powerful. When you got to look at, let's go to the water. I watch a lot of National Geographic, especially sharks. I know a lot about sharks. Every year Shark Week. You know, my wife, we're gonna sit down and watch Shark Week. You know, we hooked on Shark Week no matter where we go. So I learned a lot. And one thing, except for a bull shark, most sharks will not strike at the shallow waters. You have to go out of what's called the shark zone. That's the striking zone. Well, guess what? That's the same way with relationships. As you have conflict, a person starts to get pushed further and further. There's a zone out there. It's not called the shark zone in relationships. It's called the cheating zone.
Come on.
They drift further out there. Don't mean that a shark will get you, but the chances are greater the further you drift out, the greater the potential of the shark getting you. The same way relationship, the further you all drift or you get pushed out there to what's called the cheating zone. Next thing you know, you're now in the cheating zone. And now there's a greater potential
Slippery
of you cheating. Not saying you will. It's not saying a shark going to get you because you drift so far there, but the potential has now
fire range.
Right, that you will. So you have to be careful, you know.
And to add to that, with the way that social media and things are set up now, women or men are always in the shark zone because we always in our DMs, we always commenting on somebody's picture or liking somebody's picture that we shouldn't be liking. Like we still might be we still might have ties with old flings and they're hitting us up commenting on our story and then we sending heart faces and kissy faces like, and we just always we're a step away from being like, I don't think you understand, you're a step away from being preyed on or you're a step away from getting preyed on. Like it's so, I mean, I can go through something today with my fiance and get on social media and have somebody in my inbox saying, you looking good, I miss you. And it's like, oh man, at least she see me. And I'm in there. I'm in the shark zone now. I'm in the shark zone now. I'm all in it. You know what I'm saying? So like back in the day, when what he was saying was women they focused on home, like they wasn't focused on having so much attention. Nowadays, women are so much into attention that they're not paying attention to what's going on inside their own home. You know what I'm saying? They so focused on attention, they're not paying attention to what's going on in their own home. They know everything that happened on Twitter. They know the new busted challenge, but they don't know how busted their man is on the inside from not being able to have a conversation with her or what he's going through. And he's not telling you about. He's showing signs of it, but he's not speaking on it because you too occupied with the new challenge or the new post or how many likes you got or how many comments you got. So it's a lot of misfiring happened because people aren't paying attention to home. They more focused on getting attention, you know, and it's a heck of a drug, you know. Inclusion is a heck of a drug.
That's good. And okay, so let me go back to a few things because Kyle's hit on a whole lot of good areas that like I know I can't even pay attention to all the comments in the watch party because the watch party not on here, but I can see y'all on the watch party. Listen, Kylis, I was having a conversation like that today on my way here to Florida. And the crazy part is you have a lot of, I did not realize, let me lean in a little bit. Let me lean in just a little bit. I didn't realize how many men, I'm looking at the camera, how many men and women are really looking for attention from you. No man is looking for attention from you. Now, I'm really starting to believe what my daddy has told me.
I'm going to back away from you because since you came close, I'm going to back away. Go ahead.
How a man is actually saying in so many words about time, and they ask you questions like, okay, so how long you planning on doing that? That's a hint saying, okay, now you're putting a lot of your time into that, but you are lacking and not even realizing the time that you're putting into us. So you got a lot of time on your hands to do that and focus on that and fixing that, but you don't have enough time to focus on what's going on here. You want the commitment. Oh, I'm helping somebody tonight.
You might help somebody tonight, girl. Tell them, let them have it.
but you don't want to put in the time. Now, see, this is what messed me up. And I learned this. I learned this early on. And this is what I don't like. However you start out with me,
finish.
You got to stay that way.
Right.
Now, women, we so emotional. We can be so sweet today. We can be Betty Crocker tomorrow. We can be Shirley, big Shirley in the kitchen. But then we come up with this Corella DeVille. And we'll keep Corella DeVille for about a good 2-3 weeks. And then when he completely shuts down, then you like, well, what's wrong with you?
Why you don't open up? You need to open up for him. Then when he open up, you shut him down. Like,
so then, I really had to check myself on a few things because I can speak for me. I can't speak for a lot of women, but I know a lot of women, we relate in a lot of areas. When I was married, I was told, I'm going to make sure I say this correctly because I got folks watching. And I got receipts too. So when I was married, I was told that you focus more on your family and want to talk to your family more so you're talking to me. Okay? This is when I was married. Now, when I was dating and engaged, it was just him and I. Right? But the dynamics, I don't know what it is with women. And I don't know why. But once you get married, it's like you let everything go. Like you ain't got to put no time in it. The way you pat them, the way you rule them, the way you pull them in like that fishing hook. Now you ain't no more.
You get comfortable. When people get comfortable, they start doing things.
So the woman that he fell in love with
ain't there.
The woman who he was dating up until engagement and all that. Now y'all married. Now what happened to the bait that you threw out there? Now he done threw the bait. Now which bait is it? Real bait or fake bait? Because it seems like you gave him fake bait and then the real bait showed up.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, a lot of people do enough to get somebody, but they don't do enough to keep them. And that's the thing a lot of people suffer from.
And Carlos, let me show
you. It's easy. I compare it to like a car. It's easy to go get that Benz off the lot, but it's hard to maintain it and keep that note up. You know what I'm saying? Like the maintenance of a Benz is what you can't afford.
Hold on, Carlos. What I want the women to understand. Ooh, I'm getting hot. Come on, Holy Ghost. I want y'all women to understand something. It's just like I enjoy going fishing. First, when I was a little kid, I didn't like it. I used to like throw rocks in the pond and there was ripple effect, right? But my granddad said, one day, you're not going to be able to go to the grocery store. You're going to have to learn how to fish because fish is protein, it's fatty food. I said, Granny, I want to learn how to do that. But my granddad said, you're going to have to learn how to fish. But I want your women to see this illustration that I'm painting for you. You know, there's many fish, plenty of fish out in the river. And there's a man that throw his hook over into the river. Now, one of you women may be the fish. Now, on the hook, it could be a real worm bait, or it could be a rubber bait, which will catch the fish. Now, I've always been told, and I've learned this fishing, I found it where I can hook a fish better with a real bait, more so than a rubber fake bait. But most people like to get the rubber bait because for bass. Right. But when you going out there and you getting some trout, and you know, when my granddad, we would go into the river, we would actually be in the boat and we would get trout. We would get the mini trouts, you know, because they'd be out there in the But my granddad said, well, yeah, they're good fish right there, because he could determine which was a good fish, which was a bad fish. If it was a bad fish, he'll pick it up, he'll look at it, he'll throw it back out there. He ain't want it. But don't you know, when you get one of them big old bass, that big old fatty, long piece of fish, boy, you say, oh, this going home. We're going to cook this. We're going to cook this. Now, I know how to skin a fish. I learned early, at an early age, how to cut a fish. We had the bones in it. Right. But sometimes we left the fins on the outside because my grandma said it just made the fish taste better in the frying pan. But the point I'm making to you women, now you've been caught. Oh, Lord, I thank you. Now you've been caught. And now that you have been caught by your man, he takes you home and cleans you up. Mm-hmm. Now he done took you home and clean you up. Now it's time to eat you. Eat you in a way where you're provided for, you're protected. But somewhere along the line, he loses his taste buds for a fish. That fish. He loses his taste buds. So women, what I'm telling you is, however you start out, just as well as a female, just as well as a man, but I'm dealing with the women. However you start out, if you started out, wake up, being cute, putting your clothes on, being just all did up, that attracted him.
Men are physical creatures for sure.
It turns him
on. You got to keep that going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so if you're doing it, you know, and I've learned, and see, with me, it was different for me in my marriage. I'm not even going there because the topic is not on me. But I want y'all to understand something. However you started out in your relationship, that's how you should maintain it. It's work. You can't just say, you know what, it's just too much. We together now, baby. So now you want to throw your wigs out there. You want to take your lashes off. You want to take your makeup off. Now it's like, it's fair game.
I think everybody suffers from a bit of complacency. It's natural, and it's something that you have to be aware of. So you speaking this to them now puts this in their conscious mind frame so they can actually do something about it. Because if you don't think about it, you're not aware of that comfortability that can creep in, it just happens without you knowing. So the fact of being aware of it is how you actually defeat that. Right. You make forceful efforts to be who you were and to keep things the way they were, to keep levels of engagement high and to spend that time. And it's a sad thing, but it's a true thing that for some reason, the people that love us the most are the people we can tell no to the easiest. So like it's easy for me to like tell my coworkers and my friends I'll be at an engagement at 7 and tell my fiance, hey, I ain't gonna be able to make it because I know she's gonna forgive me. I built up enough equity with her to get a pass for that. These other people, they might not have the same type of forgiveness in them for me. So the more times I keep telling her no, the more of a rift I'm building in her. So you just got to be careful and make sure you make the main thing the main thing. And in today's society, it's kind of hard because we spreading ourselves so thin. We're trying to be so many things to so many people. And I tell anybody, your real ministry is in your house. It ain't out there in them streets. It ain't out there in nothing you doing. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care who you are or how many people. If your kids say you a bad person, then you a bad person. Right. I don't care how many people you done preached to and they said you delivered them, cool. But your kids don't like you. That's what we're going to, when it's time to lay you down, that's what we're going to remember. Like, that's what we're going to remember. Amen. So
I got somebody that said they got dating and they have gotten 26 years married.
Yeah, and that happens too. I want us to focus on something so we don't lose where we're going. There's two type of women, right? She has a man. So we're talking about the mistakes that people make when they had a man. But she talks about two people. Let's talk about the cleanup woman because that's who I want to deal with because a lot of women in college said, they've been cleanup men. So the cleanup woman, especially the woman, I'm not talking about the woman who goes there and don't know that the dude has a woman and they get caught up in emotion.
Yeah, that's different.
Find out that he got a man where it's kind of hard to break off because you already got caught up. I'm talking about the one who knowingly, ahead of time. So that person needs to look within themselves because why is it that I'm allowing myself to be drawn to somebody who already have somebody? It's something in there that you have to look at because if you don't look at that, and when that relationship don't work, guess what? You'll gravitate towards another relationship where a man is involved because it becomes a habit. For some reason, it becomes a habit. Whatever you taste, once you taste it one time, it's easier to taste it a second time because you know what it tastes like. So as we go on with some more lyrics, and if you ever was that woman, you maybe still be that woman. We're gonna keep it real. One thing about the show and one thing in church, in order to grow, you got to keep it real with yourself. So if you still that woman or that man, you know, even though we're talking about women, you got to understand what's liking in me that caused me to gravitate towards men that's already taken by somebody else.
And I can answer that real quick. It's to mitigate the risk. Mitigate the risk of myself being hurt. So therefore, if I'm dealing with half of her, I already know what it is. It's no way she can hurt me because she already belonged to somebody else. And every time a woman allowed me to, every time she would be in a relationship with him and cheat on him with me, it was another strike against women as a whole. So therefore, I went into these situations not trusting women because this is what women do. Like, so how am I going to believe my woman's going to do something different when I'm dealing with 3 and 4 different guys, women who's doing this to them? So somewhere my woman probably doing the same thing. So this tide and this current of distrust, and it builds up in you to the point where you're trying to prevent yourself from getting done the same way you doing somebody else.
Okay, what's your next lyrics there, daughter?
Okay. She said chumping is because she picked up a man of mine. Chumping slick was my ruin. Because I found out all I was doing was making it easy for the cleanup woman. To get my man's love, oh yeah. Just making it easy for the cleanup woman to get my baby's love. She said, I took this man's love and put it on the shelf. And like a fool, I thought I had him all to myself.
Stop.
We listen. Hey.
Y'all better listen to these lyrics. Shout the whole time.
That's deep, though. She said, that's deep.
I put this love on the shelf. And
she said she put it on the shelf. She just now just put it on the shelf means it's for display. You want people to see it. That means it look good in the public eye, but what's going on with it internally though?
Right.
And I thought, and guess what she said? And like a fool, I thought I had him all to myself.
Because you was too busy with the optics of it. You was too busy caught up in the visual. Like, look at my boyfriend, look at my fiance, look, I'm in a relationship now. We taking couple pictures, look at us. But inside of that relationship is nothing nice.
Right.
And that's why
I want to go with another angle. Where she come, like now in my house, I got a lot of whatnots. When I pay for them, they're mine. I'm intrigued with them, bringing them to the house. But when I put them on the shelf, guess what? I walk away from them 9 or 10 times. I may not come back to them, and they build up dust. Why? Because it's in the house. And she's saying once you get them, you put them on the shelf. Okay, I got them. I walk away from them, and now the relationship is accumulating dust. Because why? I don't have time for that. I think it's in the house. Now, everything in the house belongs to me.
On to the next mission.
What dust going to accumulate on this thing? You got to go.
It's like trophy heads, right? It's like a trophy head.
You got to tell you that you might. And I mean, like my wife got a bunch of elephants. Because we got them on the shelf. If she don't go and dust them off, dust's going to accumulate on these things because you got them in the same way relationships. Once you get it, you can't put it on the shelf. You got to keep on building this thing and building this thing. That's why I love about her. She said she thought that she had it, so she didn't have to invest. A relationship is a lifetime investment. It's constantly work. Marriage is work. Relationship is work. There's adjustments that has to be done. As age, I knew my wife when we was in the 6th grade. She was my first girlfriend. You know,
oh wow,
6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We broke up like the 9th grade. We were together 3 years, 9 months, and 2 days. Amazing. I remember that because she used to hang up on me if I didn't remember that after we broke up. So that's why I remember the time. So years later, she ended up getting married. Years later, when I went to the military. So years later, we came back across. Well, actually, we always stayed each other life. But when I came across the years later, when I married her, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a cakewalk. I know her. But guess what? No. That's not the same 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th grade. Time has changed. Even as we've been married, you know, the relationship was one way in the 30s. Now, relationship was another way in the 40s. Now the relationship is another way in the 50s. And you got to learn to make adjustments with time. Women bodies change and stuff, and they not the same. But men body change. He go testosterone levels drop. All of this stuff begin to drop. And if you're not making adjustments to all of these changes, and you expect that this is the same person that I met when I came out, I'm talking about life changes. Now, I ain't talking about the way you treat people. That's different. You should always treat them with love, respect, want to know their needs. I'm talking about the adjustment that comes along with age and stuff, and you got to adjust with it, because this is not the same woman or man that I with, because their bodies is changing stuff too. And that stuff there is so important that if you don't remember that their bodies has changed in certain areas and you still expect the same thing, and if you're not getting the same thing because their bodies has adjusted, you don't want to adjust, guess what? Now you're drifting. Mm-hmm. Now you're drifting in the fair zone.
That's sharp.
It's somebody else's body who ain't changed. I'm telling you. You know what I'm talking about? So it's stuff like that people have to. That's why you got to constantly make adjustments in these relationships, because if you don't, it's going to be trouble.
And that goes into the next part of the lyrics, so we can go to the next song. When you needed love, I was out having fun.
See?
We already talked about it. We already listened. Come on now.
College hit that.
Come on now. Out having fun. Whole time he been manifesting something different in his spirit. He mad. He up in the house just to heat it. He can't wait to get out in the streets. Mm-hmm. He going to the work somebody and comment on his new little tie. He all in her face now.
Even the church. Let's look at the church way.
But it's funny, Daddy, before you even get to the church way, even on this part right here, people be dancing.
Right, because they're not listening.
When you needed it, look, I was out having fun. And then it said, but I found out. Go ahead,
don't listen. And even with the church thing.
I want to be I
forget,
right
he died in the jet crash. I can't think his name right now. Great teacher or whatever from
who one that wrote the book?
Miles Monroe.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. Yeah.
Dr. Miles Monroe said something that's very deep. He said that a woman was coming to church all the time, and the woman came and told him.
I remember this story.
Say, my husband is upset, because I come to church, and he told the woman, go home, gave her a letter, and say, take this back to your husband. And the woman went home, the letter said, look, I sent your wife back to you because she needed to be with you. Because what happens is sometimes church people get so caught up churching. They so caught up churching, especially pastors and stuff. They get so caught up, want to go to all these revivals while you shouting and hollering and praising God. Your man is missing out on the love and affection that he's desiring, and you think God is just going to make it all right. God is not going to make it all right. What God's going to do is alert you that there's a problem inside your house. And your house, and College said it. So, and right there in the Bible, I use a scripture to back College up. The Bible said a woman lost a coin inside the house. Notice the coin was not lost outside the house. That coin represents the family member or somebody, or your spouse or somebody who's not into God. So she had to search the house, first of all, to find it, rather than going outside to try to find coins. And oftentimes we find ourselves, and I had to catch myself on this because my wife has to check me on this all the time because I'm a marriage counselor. So it's so easy for me to go out there and be helping everybody else and not realizing, hey, there's a red light going on inside your house. You know what I'm saying? That way you spend all these hours counseling other people, and then when it comes to your wife, I'm expect her to have that. She's my wife. No, I have to go through all of this, but yet, and still I would invest the time outside the house. So you have to be careful with church. Church can mess you up, especially in leadership, that you find yourself doing so much church stuff that you're not relating to your wife. That's why Paul deals with that. Paul says that you even when it comes to going on a fast, you and the husband and wife need to consent. Hey, I'm gonna go on a fast. We ain't gonna have no sex, and it must be agreed upon. You just can't come in there and say, "Hey, I'm gonna have a fast because God said so." That's not according
to
the
Bible. Do that.
I would say you must agree on it with your.
You make a joint decision by yourself,
right? That you're gonna go on a fast, and we're not gonna have sex. And then Paul says, as soon as it's over, y'all get into them sheets. Why? Because if not, the devil got the clean up woman on the side, or the cleanup man on the side that creep right in there and meet those needs. So even the Bible is God has been aware of that when there's a like, it opens a portal. I'm gonna talk about it opens a portal into your relationship. A lack of communication opens a portal to where the devil can come in there and he's gonna bring a listening person. He's gonna bring a listening person. It's a lot of women. I was with a lot of women in my lifetime. You know how I got these women? Just by listening. I listen to what they say they're not getting. I wasn't even saved then.
That's all it is.
I listen to what they say. You know what? My man never complimented me. Girl, you sure look
so beautiful.
Yeah.
It takes a man 10 to 15 seconds to figure out what she needs. It takes 10 to 15 seconds. You can talk to her for 10 to 15 seconds and realize what she's not getting. And you just lock in on that.
Just be a listener. Just listen.
Yeah. You know that's true.
You know what I like about you? You listen to me.
And that's what I learned about women.
Listen to me. Yeah. So that these are portals that's open up. And that's what she's talking about, even though she's coming from a different angle, but she's saying the same thing. I was so busy doing my stuff. You know, I got him at home. He ain't going nowhere, to where you having fun because you think you got him. One thing, the fish is he's big enough, he can jump back out the boat. He flap hard enough, you know, and back into the water, you know. So she's saying something that's so important, especially with church people. Don't get so caught up. I can't say God because that's not God, because God tell you that you got to invest time into your house. You know, like how said, that's your first ministry.
Is your house.
I'm not in a covenant with my church members. I'm gonna say that again. I'm not in a covenant with my church members. I'm not even in a covenant with my mom.
Come on.
I'm not even in a covenant with my children.
Come on.
I'm in a covenant with two people. That's the father and my wife. This is the only covenant I have. My kids, that's obligation. I brought them in this world. I'm obligated. That's not a covenant. I'm obligated to do my responsibilities as a father. But my wife, that's different. That's a covenant. And when we're in a covenant, you know, that I got to deal with that. When I'm in the covenant, I can call God because, hey, we having problems. God can come in there, and what God does, he come and he educates you. Say, look, Derek, come in and talk to you, son. Your wife is telling you what's right. You know, you need to be more attentive to her needs. You need to stop being one way. You know, you got on blinders. You need to open up. You need to hear her heart. I never forget the first time I really heard my wife hard. You know, I heard her. But when you hear the heart, the spirit, man, that thing walked me because I really heard her. And a lot of times we're listening, but we're not listening, you know. So in these relationships, before we go to the next verses, don't get yourself so caught up. And she said, don't be so heavenly minded that you know more earthly good. You know, God would expect you to stay home and build a relationship with your spouse than run to the church house. You
Definitely. And what you were saying about Dr. Miles, remember, I just want to let the ladies know that after she sent him home with that note with her husband saying that the pastor said I should be at home instead of at church, it made that man feel more comfortable to start going to the church. So he sat in the back of the church. Yeah. And then the next Sunday, he came to the middle of the church. Yeah. The third Sunday, he was in the front of the church and asking the pastor questions to the point where he ended up getting saved and becoming a member of the church, all because the pastor put a different level of respect on him, and he didn't feel like he had to battle the pastor for his rightful position as her man.
And that's what's also missing as well, is there's the lack of respect for men.
The pastor be seeming like the husband.
The biggest thing that'll make a man bald head go round is when a woman can respect him. When a woman can respect him, baby, let me tell you something.
And I'm gonna tell you something that grind a man gears like nothing else. When she can receive things from everybody else, pastor included, she can quote you and like, oh, the pastor said this, but if you say, but you've already said that to her before. But when the pastor say it, she receive it. When you say it, she debate it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, so who you with? You know what I'm saying? Like, who you in the relationship with? Like, who your man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
mighty God, be quiet, Carlos.
And that's so good, because I remember I used to say some things and my wife didn't get it. And then Ron Carpenter, we love Ron Carpenter, right? Pastor Ron Carpenter said, and she like, oh baby, what? Ron Carpenter, he said this right here, and I'd be like,
come on,
did not just say it. Yeah, but it was something like when he said it, it was different. So then I had to sit back and realize, okay, when they real close to you like that, sometimes they can't get it because they real close to you, so they see everything. So it takes somebody on the outside. So I stopped getting mad about that because I realized, okay, long as she got it, I'm down with
long she got it.
The outset, didn't I just say that? But that's the way it works.
It's how you say it sometimes, though, Daddy.
Well,
because Daddy,
I'm not. I say it in a way that you should have got it.
I wish Mama could get on the show. No, Daddy, because
I say it in a way you should have got it.
No, Daddy. You said it like the way you said it, and that's why she didn't receive it. That's why some women don't receive from the man because of how you say it.
No, that's not it. It's because a prophet is least respected in his own home. So you're in your home, and it's hard to receive a prophet in his own home. I can say it to you, and you'll receive it. The same thing I say to you that you'll receive, I won't be able to get my fiance to receive because you're not in the house with me. It's just how it is. Like when it's a subliminal competition that gets built up. Unfortunately, when you're that close to somebody.
Yes.
You don't want him to be right. If he right on this and then he right on that, then he right on everything. And he right where the ketchup shouldn't go in the refrigerator, should go in the cabinet.
That's my last refrigerator. Let's go on to the next lyric. Because you're not coming from tonight. Stay over there. I'm still yet being delivered and molded and shaped in the Lord. Amen. She says, when you needed love, I was out having fun, but I found out that all I had done was made it easy for the clean up woman to get my man's love. Yeah, that's what I did. I made it easy for the clean up woman to steal my baby's love. The clean up woman will wipe his blues away. She'll give him plenty loving 24 hours a day. Clean up woman, she'll sweep him off his feet. She's the one who will take him in when you dump him in the street. So take a tip. You better get hip to the clean up woman. She's tough. And I mean, she really cleans up.
Well, she ran it down.
Clean up on aisle 9. Come on, baby.
Come on, baby. Soon as you take that spill out, somebody right there just to find value of what you threw out.
And what you devaluing. Somebody didn't find value in what you devalue. Yeah, for sure. And like it messes with your self-esteem as a person because you're trying to figure out why you being handled like this when like this ain't who I am. You know what I'm saying? So then you start questioning your own self. So now you're in a vulnerable space where you're not like confident enough to even reject the passes thrown at you now, because now you're just trying to feel good about who you are as a person now. So it's a very complicated and twisted scenario that I think all relationships have to pay like close, attentive attention to.
Right. And she said something that was powerful. She said, I made it easy. Easy.
She sure did say that. She kept saying that she made it easy.
You shouldn't.
Because she was out. She said she was out having fun.
Right.
So with her having fun, he was left there unattended to.
Right. And that's why I want you to listen to her words.
Man should never be left alone.
Right. And that's why I want you to listen to her words. In your relationship, you should never leave it easy, for somebody to get your man. Even though we say they should be able to control themselves and all that. But everybody got needs and everything, and everybody's building. That's why we should be attentive. And this thing is a learning process. Trust me. You're looking at, if we rewind this tape to like 20 years ago, I was been in my 30s. Yeah, you rewind it like 20 years ago. The things that I know now, I didn't know then. I didn't even look at life like that back then. So this is life learning experiences when you begin to learn what relationships are really like. Because the truth be told, none of us really know what a relationship was like. You get up, you start dating and all that stuff, and you get caught up in what's called emotions and feelings and everything. And you don't really know the individual. You don't know how to adjust to none of that stuff. And that's why there's so many divorces, because we really don't know what relationship is. Relationship really is learning. That's what it is. I'm learning you, you're learning me. One of the hardest things is for two people to become one. We all come with our dysfunction. I show up with my bag full of dysfunction. You show up with your suitcase full of dysfunctions, and there we are. Now, guess what we got to do? We're going to have to learn to work through each other dysfunctions inside the relationship. I got to learn you. Okay, what is it about her? What happened in her childhood? What caused her to be the way she is? What caused him to be the way he is? These is all learning things, and that woman there was saying stuff without going into the deep stuff. She was hitting the shallow stuff, but it's real. What she's saying is that, hey, everybody got needs, and you got to find out what makes your spouse tick or your significant other tick. And if you don't meet those needs, guess what? Somebody else is willing and they're waiting to clean up what you messed up.
Everybody just want to feel good, man, and be happy. And it's the pursuit of happiness that keeps us going. It's not something that we can actually obtain. It's a pursuit. So we wake up every day pursuing it. And if you ain't helping that person pursue that, then somebody else is going to help them.
There you go. And you know why you was talking, watch this right there in the Bible. One of Adam's jobs was to keep Eve by his side. Some people think that Adam was beside Eve when the devil, actually he wasn't. He was there in the garden. The Bible say that Adam was there with her in the garden, because that was the outside the garden, it was inside. So he's just saying that he was in the garden, he wasn't beside her. Guess what? Because Adam was not being attentive to Eve, he left the door open for the cleanup man, which was the devil. And guess what? The devil creeped right in, and he began to run the lines on Eve, and he got her because Adam was not there protecting her. So the devil understands that she's the weaker vessel. Guess what? She's the weaker vessel. I know this. I'm not going to step to Adam because I can't get him. He's strong. But guess what? I'll wait till I catch her by herself, because women, listen to me, ladies, don't become offended. You are the weaker vessels and you are emotional. So you are very suspect. It's easy, especially a lot of player men, they are prayed. They pray and they prey on you. And how they prey on you, because you are emotional. Even the Bible say that the men goes in the church and they catch these women laden with lust. That's right there in the Bible. So what they do is they prey on you. I remember when I was in the military, and let's just say, I'm just gonna open y'all up to my world a little bit because I want to help y'all. Let's say that when I was a younger dude, I always had muscles, so I knew I was a good looking dude at 20, 21, right? And let's say that I just wanted, since we gonna deal with a quick hit, let's put it that way. I just wanted a quick hit, one night stand. They had a club called the Golden Mall. It was a Japanese club that they fed Chinese food. Guess what? The heavyset women hung out in there, right? Well, I knew that was an easy kill because most women who weight conscious got very low self-esteem and all of that stuff playing against them. So guess where I'm going to fish at real quick? I just go right there and walk up in there and just sit in there, and they look around. Hey, you nice looking, what you doing in here? Oh, I'm just in here hanging out. And next thing you know, boom, you got the quick hit. Why? Because I understood women at a young age. Once now I'm in the car, I understand it's a spirit of discernment. But,
same here. That's
right.
That's my advice. Yep.
So you know how women operate, and so you prey on that, and men will prey on you, ladies. They figure out where you vulnerable at. They figure out. That's why you have to be careful when you expose so much of yourself to a person, because once they know how to get to you, they will feed that, even if it's not them. Some men, it's romantic. They natural by nature. I'm a by nature flower rose, bubble bath type of dude. Other men will fake it till they make it. They'll fake it because they know that's what you like. And then once they get you, then they turn it from that because that's not really them. So you have to be careful when you put it out, your needs out there, because some people just waiting to prey on it. But guess what? You set yourself up to get preyed on by telling them where you was vulnerable at. But she said
that's the first thing they do wrong, Dr. Tobit. The first thing most women do when they get with a man is tell them everything the last man did wrong. And you gave me all the cheat codes I need. You gave me the whole cheat code.
Come on, I like the cheat code.
I know everything.
That's something that the woman, that's something that she's familiar with. That's something that, she's accustomed to. And so women, we really have to be mindful and careful. Don't share so much. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm giving the tip out there because I've been told that if I really want to manipulate you, I can. You done told me everything that he did.
He did. I just do the opposite for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Exactly. So
go ahead.
You just have to be careful. Tonight, this is just an eye opener. Really a scratch of the surface, because as me and Daddy talk, we can go deep, and we go deep to where your whole head be lost. I don't want to really unleash Dad like that, because he will take you to a place where how you think about your whole entire soul want to be turned inside out, only because we women, we really need help. And the whole purpose of this show tonight is to help y'all so that you guys won't continue making the same relationship mistakes. That's why I said that
over and over.
The next guy that I'm, whom I married, it's not even just a me trusting the decision that I'm making, but I'm also looking at the simple fact that I can trust myself with him just as well as he can trust himself with me. But I will not, and hear me good on this live tonight, I will not say I do again if I have not went through all the proper channels of being married, of counseling, because there's areas in me, or there may be areas in him that may need to be worked on before I do. And that's why even in the engagement part, women, with what Betty Wright is saying, she made it easy for the cleanup woman. I don't want to make it easy for a cleanup woman to come through and take my man. I don't need to make it easy. I already know I'm a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I know that about myself. I'm not going to make it easy for the next man to come into my life.
That's key, V. That's key, V. A lot of people don't know themselves, though.
And they don't.
They really don't. Like, it's a lot of stuff that they haven't put to the diamond tester to examine in regards to their spirit and who they really are. Like, they just keep moving on and they keep achieving certain levels of success in other fields, and they kind of keep burying the other stuff. But when you get into a relationship, the stuff that you bury deeper and deeper, it bubbles back up to the surface. So you never spent no time working on yourself. You just spent time working. See what I'm saying? Like, you was just doing work. You were doing busy work, but you were like all like busy, like being busy work ain't always good. Like, and a lot of times that stuff bubbles up to a surface. Because like I used to tell my fiance this all the time. Like, being single is cool, but it doesn't prepare you for a relationship, because you can't practice a two-party thing by yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like going to practice and you shooting jumpers in the gym by yourself. You making all of them. But then when you get in the game, it's defense on you. It's referees. You know what I'm saying? It's a different ball game now. And you can't perform the same way. Yeah. So you have to still like make sure you're preparing yourself for the things that you're asking for, because dating is very primitive in its nature. Like, men, we're hunters. We pray and we hunt. And a lot of times, and I'm going back to social media, like, y'all advertise a lot of things on social media, and y'all give a lot of things away on social media that makes y'all not desirable for men. It just is, because you're telling us everything. When you posting all those memes about the heartbreak and the heartache, and this one did this and the man did that and men do this, like, we already know that you got so much baggage, you got so many things going on. If I mix the peanut butter with the jelly, you're gonna be ready to go crazy. We already know. You got triggers. We already know you got all type of triggers. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful what you expose.
And that's why I say often, and I make this very clear and loud to the people in the back. Like, I'm not saying I do or anything to anything just to be saying I'm with somebody. That's just not going to happen. Plus, at the same time, I have a daughter. Women, we have children.
Come on, that's
who
different.
Role model us, who looks up to us. Like, everything my daughter watches me. She watches everything I do. If she's sometimes like my little shadow, majority of the time is my shadow. And so I'm careful in what I'm doing now because and this is what I said to myself, I can't make no more mistakes in relationships.
Can't afford it.
Only because I have this little girl who's watching me. She's already scarred from a previous situation. So it's like I have to, and this is when, oh God, women, just because you gotten over it and you moved on, because majority of the time y'all be lying because you just don't want to be lonely.
You don't want to deal with it.
Just because you moved on, your child hasn't. Your child hasn't even healed from that past relationship where they saw you crying and hurt, and then they see somebody else that you done moved in. He over there every day and every night, and then now they sitting up there looking like, "What the heck? Gone? We just was just 6 months ago. Now you got somebody else over there." You know why I can say this? Because I went through that with my daughter. So my daughter, she saw that years ago, and even though she was 2, 3, y'all think because y'all kids 2, 3, 4 years old don't really see or pay attention, but they do, and
they download all that.
And so that's why you say you make it easy for the cleanup woman. That means they may not want a woman who's always recycling men.
Yeah, and like kids are downloading all of that stuff, and they're gonna upload it when you get in them situations.
Is any, and I know Jayla. If Jayla don't like you, she won't say nothing to you. Won't talk to you. But if she likes you, Jayla will rat me out. If that child likes that guy, she will rat. Your child will rat you out, because if they see that you're doing something that you know you're not supposed to be doing, they will say something, and you'll be like, "Why you say that?" You know. But even though it may be innocent in the child's eyes, no, it's not. Because I see what you're doing. And I'm just saying that as an example because kids watch us. And so women, we can't get mad at our children when they be like, don't say his name in our house. Don't do this. But you made that child call him daddy. Right. You made that child receive this man in a way when they weren't even ready to. They trying to get the old other person out their skin. Now you done brought somebody else new and say, well, he your new daddy. You done confused the child. Because you're lacking you're lacking areas in your life that you haven't even dealt with. So what you do is you bring another individual man into your life and mess up your children, and you mess up yourself. Now y'all break up. Now you saying, you know what, I'm done with men. I want to hear nothing but you throw everything away. Y'all did together, anything, like everything. Y'all get rid of everything. But then at the same time, now you got a child that's broken. Confused. So when you're talking about you made it easy for the cleanup woman, right? Now you're making it harder for your child to receive anybody that come into your life, right? So that's where all the friction and stuff comes in at. And so women, we just got to do a better job with guarding ourselves, guarding our hearts, protecting ourselves, don't put ourselves out there too soon to where you know you have not properly healed. And I tell people all the time, even with me, even with my personal life, my dad knows what's going on in my personal life because that's my dad and he wants me to be better. And I told Daddy, I said, Daddy, I cannot afford to be hurt again. Like, it's just no if and buts about it. It's not even a conversation to even have with me. But what my daddy is teaching me is like, okay, daughter, we got to deal with triggers. We got to deal with this. We have to deal with these hard truths. Yeah, it may make you mad. Yeah, it may make you cry. But we got to deal with those areas so you don't carry this into your next relationship or your next marriage. It's not saying trying to come down hard on you women, but we got to do better when it's making decisions for our lives. Yes, we're emotional creatures. Yes, we are weaker vessels, but we can be stronger vessels mentally and emotionally if we practice every day on working on ourselves. So this is my word for you women: self-development, self-discovery for you for this year. Self-development, self-discovery. Work on yourself. Evaluate you. Why you keep going through these same cycles. You may need a well, it's coming out with no longer on you. I deal with all the triggers in women, and you get to deal with those areas because a lot of women lie to themselves. Like the young lady was telling me how when you said, daughter, she's powerful, how we create white lines and you know they clearly red. They red, but you create white lines like, nah, that ain't what it is. You know, red flag.
The flag is white. If the flag is red, don't paint it white, you know.
That was powerful. That's a good one right there for sure.
White and red, don't paint them white. And a lot of people do that. I want to go somewhere because it's tugging on my heart, right? And I do a lot of women's seminars, so I feel women. I don't know, that just my gift to be able to feel women. I want to deal with the cleanup woman, right? And the reason why I want to deal with it because I'm sure somebody who's listening, you're in that position right now. You know, you're playing the cleanup woman, you're playing second fiddle to somebody, and I feel it, you know, that you're tugging. Now, in this situation here, the cleanup woman won. In that song, she won.
She sure did.
But the majority of the time, she don't win. The majority of the time, the cleanup woman, she lose.
It's gonna be something else to clean up.
She gets there and she invests. I'm going to tell. She said I'm going into the next song, so I'm gonna pull it. But
hold on. Hold
it. Shirley Murdoch. As we lay. Come on now, Carlos. Let me just read the song. Let me read the lyrics, lady. Daddy, hold it in your shonda.
I'm gonna put it on the shelf. Like
let it season a little while longer. Let it simmer.
College, hoping it don't get stolen, you know.
Let it keep seasoning. Let it keep seasoning inside. It's gonna be good when we cook it up, though.
Listen, hold it. Okay, as we lay, Shirley Murdoch. It's morning, and we slept the night away. It happened. Now we can't turn back the hands of time. Yes, we've stolen this moment. We forgot to face one simple fact. We both belong to someone else. As we slept the night away. It's morning. Sunlight shine across your sleeping face. A new day brings reality, and we must go our separate ways. What a lovely night we had. Yeah, as we shared each other's love. We forgot about all the pain we caused. As we slept the night away. As we lay. We forgot about tomorrow as we lay. As we lay, we didn't think about the price we had to pay. It's morning, and now it's time for us to say goodbye. Goodbye, babe. You're leaving me. I know you got to hurry home to face your wife. Wife, I would never want to hurt her. No, she would never, ever understand. You belong to me for just one night as we slept the night away. As we lay, we forgot about tomorrow as we lay. As we lay, we didn't think about the price we had to pay. Come on with it, Daddy.
Yeah, in that situation there, both of them was in a relationship. So I want to go back to this woman that's not in a relationship. And the reason why that's so detrimental is because you want to be in a relationship. That's why I want to talk to you, because you want to be in a relationship, and 9 out of 10 times you do everything in your power and it's good, and you think that you're going to get him. You think that you're going to get him, and you invest time, and next thing you know, years has passed, and you invest the years in this person, thinking that I'm going to get him away from his girlfriend or away from his wife or whatever. And then next thing you know, come to find out that they never leave, and look at all the time that you have wasted being the cleanup woman in a situation. Because Carla said it earlier, eventually, especially women, they want more. They may be satisfied at that position for a while, especially if they believe that he's going to leave. If he's telling them that he's going to leave, then they increase they love. They let all the walls down, and they give themselves completely, believing that, hey, this is going to become my man, and their mindset become totally devoted to this guy, and they believe a lie And in the end, you the one gonna get messed up. You the one's gonna get hurt and everything. That's why you have these side women who get hurt. They want to kill the man and his wife now because the man promised them all this stuff. They was a cleanup lady. He promised them all of this stuff. And at the end, he didn't fulfill it. He stayed with his wife. Now you hurt. I invested all this time in you. I done did all of this for you. And then now this thing that I thought was going to come to fruition did not come to pass, and you're devastated. So if you're playing that role, you need to break it off, because 9 or 10 times you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. He may tell you he's going to leave, but 9, 10 times he's not going to leave. And then if he do leave, once you get him, you're never going to be comfortable, because if he was cheating with you, it's going to forever be in your mind that if he cheated with me, now that I have him, you're going to be thinking in your mind, is he cheating with somebody else? So you would never be comfortable in that relationship. So you're investing time in a no-win situation. Because like I say, even if you get the man, that relationship going to be toxic, because you're not going to be able to be comfortable knowing that, can I trust him? So you're going to become that next woman, and there's going to be somebody else waiting to become the cleanup woman in your situation.
It's just a vicious cycle that goes on and on. Yeah.
Right. So you have to be careful, because I remember somebody on here said that, I saw a comment say, I used to be the cleanup. Well, you're not the first one. And even now, there's women in the church who still playing, use the modern day terminology, they're the side piece. So, you as the side piece, you're going to lose. You're wasting time. It's better to be alone by yourself than investing time into somebody, and which is not going to end in nothing. Trust me on that.
Speaking from experience, being a side dude or side woman, like it's a character defect. It's not something that just happens out of nowhere. It's from some level of abandonment, neglect, or hurt that will make you settle for less of somebody.
Settle for how much?
Less of somebody.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's something internally going on with you. And like I said, my situation was, I was seeing how these women were treating these guys, and I didn't want to get treated like that. So I felt like it would be better to stay over here doing, like, I'll never forget it. This one woman, we went back to my apartment. She spent the night. We had a great night. She laying in my bed. She spent the night. She laying in my bed. She blowing up her man all morning, asking him why he ain't answering the phone. She finally gets him on the phone at 11 o'clock, and she cursing him out. Now she naked in my bed, cursing this man out about why he ain't answering his phone, what you been doing out here cheating. And it just hit me so hard. I was like, man, how many times have I been the dude on that other line where my woman laid up in the bed, and it just messed me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know people could be that wicked. So it kind of tainted the dating experience for me. So I'd rather, like, as a man, you want some level of control of the situation. And side dude, side woman, it's not that we want to truly be side dudes or side pieces. Like, we just want some level of control of the impact of the hurt that's going to come our way. But like Les Brown said, you can't dodge hurt. You can hide under a rock, as hard trouble gonna come find you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't dodge it. There's some hurt out here for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's better to take the risk and actually have something of your actual own than to kind of like borrow somebody else's toy when they don't feel like playing with it no more. Because ladies, 9 times out of 10, most men not breaking or leaving their family for you. It ain't gonna happen. Like, he ain't going in a different house from his kids for you. You one person. Like, he ain't gonna do that, because he can't live, like, that's his legacy. So he might love you. He might really do love you and care for you like he said he did, but he's not gonna mess up his legacy for you.
Mighty God. Lord, right. He said he ain't gonna mess up his legacy.
Right, that's true.
He ain't gonna leave his house now.
Denzel had his little side piece on Fences, and he wasn't leaving. He ain't planning on leaving his wife. He just said he go over there to have a good time, and she make him laugh. But he never had no plans on leaving his wife on the movie Fences when Denzel was cheating. He never had no plans on leaving.
Never had no plans on
leaving. Talked about it. In the moment that on Ray Charles on the movie Ray, on the movie Ray, when she mentioned him leaving his wife, Ray went crazy. Ray Charles went off on that woman. The moment she mentioned him leaving his wife, he flipped on her. He was having a good time, getting high, having sex with her. The moment she said something about leaving his B, he went off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he sure did, because she was in the group.
Yeah.
And I believe she had a baby by him too.
Yeah. She got kicked out the group.
Yeah.
Talking about leaving his wife. You listen, it ain't gonna happen.
She got pregnant.
Yeah.
And he said to her, I'm never gonna forget it. He said to her, well, she couldn't sing in the group.
Yeah.
And she said, so what you want to do with the baby? And he said he'll take care of his child, but she couldn't be in that group. He didn't believe in killing his child. But he believed in being a protector of that child. But when she started acting a fool and was saying like, oh, he with me and that man was not gonna leave his wife. I saw that. You're right, Colin.
And to put another spin on it that we don't pay attention to when we out here, you know, being side dudes and side women, and this is what made me get my act together. It's things out here, you know what I'm saying, called STDs and KIDs that you gotta you gotta be aware of. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can have a baby by somebody and it turns into a situation, and people actually have STDs. It's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was something that brought a different level of awareness to me when I was out there doing what I was doing, and this woman had enough honesty with me to let me know before we engaged that she had herpes, and it changed me. It was like, oh, this is real. This is really happening out here. Because, you know, like STDs and stuff, you hear about them, but it's not real if it ain't happening to you for some reason. You know what I'm saying? We all ignorant to STDs until it happens to us or somebody that we're close to. So you also want to take into consideration, like, the time when you're the side dude, when you're the side dude, when you don't know that side dude's whereabouts or that side girl's whereabouts all day, you only know them when they get up with you. So it's about 6-7 days out, about 5 days out the week, they're unaccounted for. You don't know who they're dealing with then, and you don't know who that person that they're dealing with, and you just got a cesspool of a lot of stuff going on. It's just not safe. You know what I'm saying? It's better off finding you one person and keeping it there.
Amen.
Anything?
Oh, you hit it.
All right. So we on the last one, woman to woman. Hello.
Is that Barbara? Can I speak to Barbara? Yeah.
May I speak to Barbara?
What you know about that, Colin?
Barbara, this is Shirley. You might not know who I am, but the reason I'm calling you is because I was going through my old man's pockets this morning, and I just happened to find your name and number.
See, that's old school.
So
he wasn't going through his cell phone and found it. See, that's old school. You know, that was an old song. They wrote it on paper back then, and from the club or whatever, and they put it in their pocket. So you know that's old school. She didn't say I went through his cell phone.
I went through a cell phone right there. I'm gonna add in the lyrics.
She wrote it on a matchbook.
Went on his Facebook account in his inbox, found your name and number. See, that's old school. Go ahead, dog.
Daddy, I can't. So, woman to woman, I don't think it's being any more than fair than to call you and let you know where I'm coming from. Now, Barbara, I don't know how you're gonna take this, but whether you be cool or come out of a bag on me, you see it doesn't really make any difference. But it's only fair that I let you know that the man you in love with, he's mine. From the top of his head to the bottom of his feet, the bed he sleeps in, every piece of food he eats. You see, I make it possible. The clothes on his back, I buy them. The car he drives, I pay the note every month.
No.
So I'm telling you these things to let you know how much I love that man. And woman to woman, I think you understand just how much I do to keep him. So woman to woman, if you ever been in love, then you know how I feel. And woman to woman. Now, if you were in my shoes, wouldn't you have done the same thing too? Oh, woman to woman. Can't you see where I'm coming from? Woman to woman. Ain't that the same thing you would have done? Woman to woman. Now, should I just step aside and let her take what's rightfully mine? Oh, woman to woman. Was I right or was I wrong? I ain't gonna let you break up my happy home. Now, I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna say what I gotta say now. Now, woman to woman. Now, you see, I don't want no trouble now. I hope you understand. I love that man and he's mine. I'm talking to you, woman to woman. You should be woman enough to understand. That man, I love. That man. Woman to woman, he's mine, and I ain't gonna give up my baby. I ain't lying. Now, best of my years into that man, I hope you'll understand. Now, every time I had heard this song and I was grooving to it,
drinking water on that.
Dad, I didn't know that I was rocking to Stanley Brown like this.
Well, I do want to know, is this her man or her son? Because she paying his car note, she buying his food and his clothes.
I drunk some water because first of all, we need to check her before she goes to come out.
She made a lot of money off this song,
she need to
and
go.
that's why I said a lot of these. Hold on, Daddy.
I'm trying to figure out.
That's why I said, because I used to be Shirley Brown. I used to be.
Hold on. You was paying for the clothes, the food, and the car note.
I used to be that.
So that sounds like a son. That don't sound like a man. That sounds like your child.
But I used to be that. But at the same time, one part I did not do as far as when I was in my 5-year relationship. I didn't call another woman to say any of that. But I did all of those things because I was Shirley. Now, see, I twist to the plot to the show tonight. I was Shirley Brown.
So what is that man providing to the situation if he's not buying, like, he's not providing anything to the situation?
See, back in the day.
Okay, tell from your experience.
Now, see, back in the day, from my experience, I had control. So me being Shirley Brown, I had control.
And you know, that's good right there, V, because a lot of times, a lot of times, V, women try to flip the role and switch it, but it don't work because your nurturing spirit and your emotions are not going to allow you to take that role on and be comfortable in.
Then you can it's good. Then you can dissect what I'm saying. But he's deceased now. But I was that to him. I was all that to him. Money, clothes, working, car insurance, car note, motorcycles, whatever. I did all of that. I was Shirley Brown. I did it for 5 years, included with the abuse and everything. But again, it was control. I felt like I had control to think that he would never leave me. So if I did all these things, I thought I secured the bag. I thought the bag was the person. And most women do this because they feel like they're controlling him or manipulating him per se, like Jezebel. Jezebel wanted to control and take over Ahab. If you think about it from the Bible, and she wanted to rule over everything, but guess what ended up happening to her? She ended up getting thrown out the window and eaten by dogs because of her mentality, because of Jezebel's mentality. And so
she sounded like a sugar mama.
He was older than me. But at the end of the day, I felt like I had control of him. But once I realized, no matter how much clothes I bought him, no matter how much I paid for him, barbershops and all the stuff that I did for him, that did not keep him from cheating on me. It never stopped. So I had to wake up. I was like, these songs that I'm listening to, they messing the sister up. They need to be thrown in the trash. They making millions of dollars out for me because I'm doing this stuff, the very thing, because the song sound good and I'm following out with the lyrics and I'm ending up looking like Shirley. And you got a lot of women who are looking like Shirley, looking like Betty Wright, looking like Shirley Murdoch, looking like what's the girl name that do the WAP song?
Cardi B.
Yeah, being Cardi B.
Yeah.
And that ain't gonna keep no man either. Because I don't care how wet something is.
Oh yeah,
it don't matter.
I was a little slow, you know. You know what I'm saying? I really don't dabble in that world, but it hit.
He said, "Oh yeah."
It came.
Yeah, so, you know, and then look where they end up. They end up being in the news. And
then divorce.
Yeah. You know, the WAP didn't keep him from cheating. The WAP didn't keep him. I don't care if y'all better stop listening to the WAP talking about it, what she got, then that caused her to have cooking skills and cleaning skills.
Sex has never made a man stay nowhere. Right. It ain't gonna do it.
It ain't gonna do it because he can go out there and get plenty of fish.
Woman.
Yeah, facts. That too. Yeah,
our woman. You know
that part too. That you got to slide that in there.
Yeah. Well, let's go.
Go ahead.
Let's go two places. Once again, it goes back to that was the original song that you had told me about this. That I really was saying back in the day. That was their mentality. That they would step to you. They would fight for their household. So she come from that avenue. But there's another thing that's so deep. She's doing a lot of kicking out. And people, and men, especially men, when they begin to kick out a lot of their money, then cheating becomes real personal. They normally kill people like that. It's something about when you begin to kick out and you take care of somebody with everything, and then it's like a personal attack on her. And that's why she's laying out all the things that she do. So now it's like a personal attack because I do kick out all this stuff. Now, you know, I got a right to say what I'm going to say because of what I'm doing. So it's a personal thing. But let's look at the thing. The man, she shouldn't be doing all this for the man because in the end, realize that, and she's not even catching it. She's out here beefing with another woman rather than going to the original song that said about putting it on the shelf and the cleanup woman. You are making it easier for the cleanup woman. You should have went and listened to that song and before you went and called the Barbara, whoever you went and called.
Come on, Dr. Tarver.
Yeah, you made it easier for the woman to slip in on you by buying him all this stuff. He home with his feet kicked back. They ain't have Xbox back then, but he playing the Xbox.
PlayStation, he bought Nintendo, whatever he was playing.
So you know, you done reversed the role. If he'd have had his butt working and taking care of you, then whoever you call might have couldn't have slipped in on it. But because now he's able to get to her in the car you paid for, now he can easily get to her. You hear what I said with insurance that you paid for, so he can get to her and giving them the time. Because while you working, he ain't got no time to go and meet up with and all that stuff. So you created this situation that I don't know. You can't blame.
Probably miserable.
So you create this situation. But you want to step to the other ladies, and ladies, y'all need to stop that.
It's a waste of time.
Checking him. You did all that for him, and he's still cheating on you. What you should have did was thank the woman for bringing your awareness up that you got somebody who's no good and who's not appreciating the value that you bring to the table, and you should get rid of him.
Say thank you.
You should have called me if you're gonna do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
And all of that. Now that's a gold mine. Right,
that's true. What you said is so true. And I've said that in regards to like when I've caught somebody cheating and they be like, I'm not going to deal with that person no more. I always say it's not about that person. It's the mind state that allowed you to make a decision. Because if I tell you to stop talking to this guy, that ain't gonna stop that guy over there, or that guy over there, or that guy over there. So what you're saying is so true. Like she stepped into that one woman, you can shut that one woman down, but whatever seed that you planted that manifested into him behaving like this, another woman's gonna water it. Or that woman's going to, it's somebody somewhere that's going to water the seed. So you have to step to the source because it's going wrong with that person.
So what's the solution? to the women? What's the solution that you guys can give to the women? Because I mean, there's somebody on a watch party right now. They said they said their husband ain't touched them in 2 years. And they married, and they've been married 26 years. What do you say? Well, I mean, how do you fix that?
It got to be conversation. I think when it comes to conversation, we got to make sure that we're not taking the conversation personal, and making sure that if I tell you my experience, that doesn't mean I'm saying you're wrong or I'm saying it's your fault. I'm just telling you my experience. A lot of times, if you tell somebody your experience, they take it as you blaming them, and then they defend themselves. We got to stop doing this so we can let somebody in. You walking around like this, you can't let nobody in. So that's the only thing I would say you can start with, some type of communication. Because all of it started with communication. That's when the side dude and the cleanup woman, that's when everybody came in, when the communication broke down.
Right. I want to deal with that woman comment. She said, how long they been together?
2 years.
2?
No, 20
Oh,
years.
yeah, 2 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I just go off. I'm just going to go off.
She said, I've been hurt until I lost the desire to sleep with him.
Okay, so
but I can't go and see.
Is that the same person?
Yeah, that's the same person.
Okay, she been hurt. That's why they're not sleeping together. I thought it was in a relationship where he just wasn't having sex with her.
No, they married, Daddy.
Okay, I'm saying so. She's no. We reading the comment, Collins. We reading this comment. That's I want to make sure I had down the question.
Sunshine, I'm gonna try to add you as a friend, cause
Okay, she said. Okay, let's deal with this. With the part that I did read, she said that I guess she married and she got hurt, and because she's hurt, she don't want to sleep with her husband, her spouse. You know, I guess that's a situation that she's in. Now, that is understandable, but if you're gonna remain in that marriage, then you're gonna have to get counseling, because you're gonna have to work through that issue, because sex is a part of marriage, and you're gonna have to work through that issue, because if you just existing, you don't never want to be just you just don't want to just there we go, sunshine. 2 years I have not been touched by my husband. Now that there's a lot of reasons. For one, a lot of men can be dysfunctional in that area. Men don't like to talk about erectile dysfunction, especially when they get older. That's what I was alluding to when I was talking about, as you get older, loss of testosterone and all of that stuff there. And for men, that's a pride thing. And I know for sure that sometimes a man won't tell a woman that he's having problems. He'll just shut down. And I know personally, a couple, they just shut down, and you don't want to talk about that issue. You don't want to talk about, all these different medications they can have, because it's pride thing. So you, first of all, sunshine, address that. Is that the problem? And then if not, then you have to address why. Sometimes counseling is important. We as Black people don't like to do counseling, but do counseling. Even though I do marriage counseling once a year, me and my wife have what we call a tune-up. We got a marriage counselor. We do it once a year because it's important. It's good to hear somebody else's perspective on marriage, because marriage comes from so many different angles and everybody got experiences. So it's good to get counseling and bring counseling and have an outside sources to referee and talk about this problem. What's the problem? Is it me? Is it you? What's going on? Why you not touching me? Is there something that you need to come out with? If you just never talk about these problems, then the problem going to exist. And sad to say, it's been 2 years. He's pushing you out there into what's called the cheat zone. So you have to be aware of yourself that, okay, I'm drifting out here. It's 2 years. I haven't been touched. Now you vulnerable because you out there in the cheat zone, and you need to deal with that problem as soon as possible, because you are in the cheat zone. Not that you will cheat, but the situation have you in the cheat zone. You have to be aware that I'm out here because I'm vulnerable. I'm pretty sure you have needs. The mere fact that you addressed it is telling me that there's a problem for you, that he haven't touched me, is bothering me. I'm a woman. He's not touching me, and I got needs. So you are in the cheat zone. So my advice is to find somebody, a counselor that y'all can trust, and try to get him to go. Now, if he don't want to go, then it becomes very problematic because some people don't want to go to counseling. That was the problem, because you can't force people to go to counseling. So that thing becomes very problematic in that situation right there. And I'm not gonna,
and then
I'm not
too, I
gonna
wanted to
go
just say
live and say what you should do after that. But if you want to have a private one-on-one, we could talk about things.
But Dad, I want to say this is what I love about you and Mom is that you guys really are serious when y'all go to marriage retreats.
Yeah,
And even though they've been married, oh my goodness, 15 years, but known each other for a long time, they still put in the time to cultivate their marriage, to keep it I would say interesting, and also seeing growth. I think it's a big thing, and I say this often. Even when I was doing marriage counseling, I think it's amazing how you can see how couples they develop and they grow with each other. And some stuff you're not gonna always be able to run to the counselor. You're gonna have to be able to work those situations out. One thing that I love too, even in counseling, having the spoon method. You may have two people who are hot headed. I may need to give you the spoon to get your turn to talk. Okay, are you done talking? And once you're done talking, you pass the spoon. Then the person that got a spoon has the floor. But the person that doesn't have a spoon don't have the floor. So it's different techniques and methods that you can do to win in your marriage. But women, I just want y'all to understand and know, like, it's a lot of us out here hurting, a lot of us out here bleeding, but we gotta have these honest conversations with ourselves and say, hey, I'm just jacked up on the inside and I really need some help. And so you got people out here, you got me, you got my dad, you got Collis that's out here that's willing to help you develop, but you got to be willing to deal with those hard truths. That's the whole point of Let's Deal With It No Longer On You. We deal with the hard truths about you and how we can fix them, how we can help you resolve them. So that's why I asked Dad the question, what's the solution? What's the solution to how we women can be better, even in relationship, and be better with ourselves? That's number one. Before we can try to be in a relationship with somebody else, we first got to be better with ourselves. And that was one thing that I didn't like about Daddy in the beginning, was that he was telling me, I didn't like that about you. I couldn't stand it.
She was so honest when she said that. Like, she really had that feeling. Like, that was a real
she had a problem. She wouldn't speak to me for a while, I wouldn't know what the deal was. And I called, Dad, I was upset with you because you said this. Well, I told you the truth,
When she said that right there, it let me know that she really
lied about it,
I was telling the truth. But see how that was a area that Daddy told me I had to. That's when the No Longer On Me really began with me in 2015. With 16, when Daddy started talking, 17 actually, when Daddy started talking to me, and I was just like, I really don't know, another male figure in my life, and he wasn't trying to be my father. It just was something that just naturally just happened. And when we had those conversations and one-on-ones,
it was like this. You're gonna be my father. That's how it was. What I'm saying? And like I had a choice.
He didn't have no choice.
She
but he helped me. I hijacked him. He helped me though.
She hijacked me.
I did hijack him. But I just wanted him to understand that I wanted help. That's why he could. I've gotten a lot of inboxes and questions. I've seen them. I have not responded because I believe it's just very overwhelming. Right. Um. It was very overwhelming because my dad, how his relationship, my biological dad is different from my relationship. My biological dad is different from my spiritual father, and that's only because my spiritual father, he can see me natural and spirit. My biological father sees me natural more so than he sees me spirit. But I have both. God bless me with both. So when y'all be like, I need a Tarbert in my life, I'm not sharing him.
Yeah, she always say that.
No, I don't share. I don't share. I got that only child syndrome, so I just don't share. I share with my brothers, because they're boys, but with women, no, I don't share. Cause my daddy got some iron termite muscles, and some of y'all come up with them left for demons, and y'all be trying to come this way. But even though his eyes,
not a left-footed, smooth-footed demon. Come on.
I'm telling you. So I have the way that I am now is because I wanted to be a better me. I wanted to be better. And that's what Dad could respect. Even though I didn't like the stuff that he said to me, but it was truth about me. And I think there was another thing when Daddy made me upset. He told me I had to stop being naive and gullible.
Yeah, I use those words too.
And that's beautiful that somebody is doing something that most women don't get, is which why they end up becoming side women and all that, because nobody ever holds them accountable. Women spend more time getting compliments than they do getting held accountable. So the first time somebody holds them accountable, it's kind of like an adverse reaction, like, what? It ain't my fault. No, it ain't me, because all women are used to is compliments. You know what I'm saying? Nobody makes them accountable for the things that they do, and why things are going wrong is partly your fault. Nobody tells them that. So they walk around thinking that they're perfect, but at the same time, that bothers them too, because people are thinking this way of them, but when they look in the mirror truly by themselves, they don't see that. So now they have a conflict between what people think of them compared to how they actually really feel and who they really are. So the fact that somebody's holding you accountable, whether they dragging you by your feet or not, is a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. Shonda said, I've been married now for 26 years, and yes, sometimes you need to hear it from somebody else. Yeah. And I agree. I totally agree. I don't have all the answers, and Daddy tells me all the time, daughter, you gotta be very careful because you got a lot of women following you, and you have to be careful with what you say because they're so sensitive. And I do my best with telling y'all the truth. I'm trying my best not to cut corners. I go straight in. And some women, I tell them I'm not your bestest friend because I just may tell you the truth and you may just not like what I say. That's why I believe college, my friendship was more men in college more so than females in school, because I rock with the dudes more harder than I did with females because I wasn't catty. I wasn't catty in school. I hung out with college and the boys. We could hang out on the yard and cut up real bad and away, because at the end of the day, it's college and their fault. Y'all blame my college friends because college and them, college knew how I was with guys. I probably wouldn't be in the relationships that I was in.
Yeah, no, definitely not though, because your guys
very guarded in school. So
like we just wasn't aware, but that's the thing about when women keep those things a secret, because they don't want nobody to hold them accountable. So you'll go through things and won't tell none of the men in your life because you don't want to hear about the decision that you're making, because then you have to do something about it. You can keep telling yourself that lie and keep going on with this bad relationship. But when you tell me, I'm going to be like, that makes sense to you, V? Like, nah, I know dude probably out there doing this, because ain't no man going to do this if this happening. Yo, I'm telling you, he doing this. Now you got to do something.
Why with college, I never came to you because I did not want to hear the truth.
Yeah, and that's what women
do. Messaged me, y'all. Let me tell you something about college. He messaged me and he said, yo, V, why you didn't tell me this? Like, V, like, you already know what I didn't want to hear the truth. And that's the truth with women. They don't want to hear the truth. That's why they don't go to their family. That's why they don't go to their friends.
And that's why you got mad at me.
Yeah, that's why she got mad at you.
The truth of the matter is, if we replay this, I told her everything. I would tell her,
believe it.
This is what's happening.
Yeah.
Squaze. No, Daddy, I'm telling you, this is what's happening.
And I posted about that. Like, women
come up. Listen, this is what's happening. Squaze. No, Dad. Okay, no, listen. Now, years later, Dad, you told me everything. Yeah, I told you because I could see it. You in the inside. I'm a man.
Come on.
I'm a
Yeah,
man.
talk about
I've been the predator, so I can see characteristics of the
of
enemy.
another man.
Save you still don't forget the characteristics, they in you. I can pick up on a predator, because I used to be a predator. So I can pick up on the spirit, I can see how he's using you. And then I begin to look at you, okay, she's easy to be manipulated. I can see how and I told her you're front, you have to be careful, So that's the whole thing in understanding that. Right? Because I told you was getting mad, but now you telling me, Dad, you're right. Now your leg been bit off by the crocodile.
You got half a leg. You got half a leg now out here.
I tried to say college
to
listen to me. But back to the ladies, right? Because we about to wrap this up. But let's we're gonna home it in. We're gonna get serious for a minute because, like I said, I do a lot of women counseling and a lot of women seminars, and even when I go to prison, when I used to speak in prisons. There's a lot of hurting women. Oh. There's so many hurting women. I didn't know there was so many hurting women until I got saved, and then God began to put the burden on me to do conferences like Necessity of a Woman. That was a powerful one. Necessity of a Woman Part 2. One of them I did call My Sisters. You're Not My Enemy. We share the same pain. And it was
last year.
Yeah, it was a lot. I did like 6 or 7. And one of the things about my women, my sister, You're Not My Enemy, share the same pain. Women have a hard time getting along with each other for some reason. I don't know why. You can put 10 men in a room to do work, and the 10 men can work together. Put 10 women in the room to do a job, and they won't get along. They talking about somebody weave and they nails and how they don't take care of their kid. What that got to do with work? Why we even get on this subject here? The clothes she bougie and all that. So it's something about women that is complicated. I even say in my church, I got most of the women. I say it's really hard to pastor women because I always got to be in the middle of a cat fight. Always, it's just something about the women. So when I do these seminars, though, I can feel a lot of pain. I've cried with a lot of women because I can feel the pain. Women come with so much pain. It comes from your childhood, and you bring that stuff into your adulthood. And most of the time, the man is not dealing with the woman. The man is dealing with the child. He doesn't know that. That's why the scripture in the Bible is so powerful. Paul said, when I was a child, I did childish things. When I became a man, I put away childish things. But in life, you'll meet a man, but you're not meeting the man. You're meeting the kid. And the kid is controlling the man because he got hurt emotionally. He never matured. He never grew up.
Yeah.
So now you're dealing with a kid inside a man's body, vice versa. The man is meeting a woman with a female body, but there's a little kid in there, and the reactions of this grown up, you can see the kid reacting to situations, not an adult reacting to that situation because the kid reacts in an immature way to that situation. So a lot of women, because they've been molested, they've been raped, because they didn't have a father figure in their life, because they've been preyed upon, you come to God and you scarred up and you messed up, and the church sometimes can mess you up. I want to tell you what I mean by that. You just can't go and say, I'm not going to receive this, I'm not going to receive that. If the reality is that you are hurt in that, by saying I'm not going to receive it doesn't change it. You got to deal with it. And oftentimes they taught us this. You need to go out there and dig that body up and get out there and smell the body. Meaning that's a situation that happened in your life. You need to deal with it. Say, I was hurt about this stuff, and I need to deal with these emotions, because if you don't deal with these past hurts and issues, or you're in denial about it, that's why a lot of relationships are messed up. Why? Because a kid, he can't bond because he wants me, myself, and I want my toys. And if I can't have my way, then I want to go out. I don't want to talk to you no more. I want to shut the door. And rather than deal with the situation, that's childish situations. And a lot of you ladies, you're hurt. The church is made up of most of the women. So there's a lot of pain inside of the relationships. And a lot of you been hurt recently and you're going through stuff. And so you have to learn to heal. Matter of fact, a woman in the church preached Sunday that was so powerful. She preached deliverance and healing. Two different things. You can get delivered of something, without being healed of that thing. If you never get healed of it, you can fall right back in need of being delivered again. Because if that device, and one issue that we did leave out about these relationships is the sex part. And the reason why a lot of people they play that role because the individual, you could be in a position where sex is your hang up, that's your vice. And if it's good, you'll continue to stay or mess around with men or whatever. Why? Because that's my vice and that's what I need. So I don't mind being the side chick because he's fulfilling that particular need in my life. And if you don't address that problem, you're gonna stay in that situation. Go ahead, Colin.
No, I ain't got nothing to add to that. I think that should be the bow on the arm. Yeah, I think that's how we should end that for sure.
Amen.
Yeah.
There's moments about me that I am muted.
That is very rare, and we must cherish those and honor them.
Come on, God.
Ain't nobody like V that could do a 3-hour live by herself. You hear me? 3 hours. She can do 3 hours by herself.
In the 3 hours, she say about 10 times, I ain't gonna be on here long. I ain't gonna be on here
on
long.
my side, like how it's showing the hours now.
I'm not gonna be on here long.
I try to tell people that's nice.
Come on.
Did I do that live?
Come on. I just came on here for a little while. I'm gonna come on for a few minutes. I ain't gonna be long. Come on in. I ain't gonna be long. 3 hours later.
You know, be that church that keep you at 5 o'clock. Be that church that keep you till 5 now.
I do not. That night I did that live. I didn't have no time up there, Daddy.
So it was a time up there. You just blacked
I didn't
out.
see it.
You blacked out. You blacked out.
I did.
Yeah, that's how you always start.
You blacked out.
But if you see my videos I done this week, my lives was 20, 30 minutes.
You give that. I hear you, girl.
Was you all right them days?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Go back and check, College. You and Daddy. That's how You know what? I cannot with y'all.
Next week topic, what we got?
What we got next week?
Next week we're dealing with the men.
Ooh, College, we got to tell them
same topics.
Hey, we got to tell on ourselves next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna put myself out.
We're gonna bring in the R. Kelly. We bringing in what's the name name? It's Friday night.
Johnny Kemp just got paid.
Yeah, we
got paid.
That was my number one. That's my joint. Boy, booty shaking.
Why are we bringing an R. Kelly song in there? What's going on?
Ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. That's why.
We're bringing R. Kelly. I know people feel they type of way, but we're bringing in R. Kelly next week. Priscilla, you say ouch. We're bringing in R. Kelly. We're bringing in what's the name, Daddy? We're dealing with Bobby Brown, Man's World. Wow. We're bringing in
James Brown, not Bobby. James, right?
James Brown, yeah. It's a Man's World.
We're gonna bring in no, Daddy, it was another song. It was a juke junk song.
Candy Liquor? You talking about?
You know what? Not that one, not Candy Liquor. The one.
What you know about that stop? That Candy Liquor.
Bobby Brown.
He said, "No, Daddy." He said, "I've been working hard all week, trying to
I don't know that one right there. No, hold on.
I'm gonna bring it up. He said
that might have been one of your boyfriends you went to the studio with one time.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna pick it up. You've been working hard all week. It's a song. It's a song. Where my old heads at?
We're fun.
You've been working hard all week. To put something. No, I ain't got nothing about no bill on the table. I'm gonna figure out the name of the song.
Yeah, you come up with it now.
No, I'm not gonna come up with no name because the song that I'm talking about, y'all can't be that same.
Might not just probably was on our radar. Then I may know if you call the name out.
I can't.
I know name. I think his name is. I'm gonna think this is the song right here.
He just got paid. What else did he do in the song?
Ain't just got paid. This is the song.
Kemp.
Yeah, just got paid. But this got my whiskey.
Oh, got my whiskey.
Nah, I never heard
heard
that.
this song?
That was for my time, Colin.
Who said that?
This is for Mel Waiter or Water.
We'll catch him next one. No,
I never heard that.
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's that juke joint music. That's that juke joint music down there in North Carolina.
That's that Carolina stuff there.
So yeah, we're gonna be dealing with Mel, Water, got my whiskey.
You know,
it sounds like a plan. Like
I want to pray. You know, I see a lot of the woman who sit on there say she having problems in her marriage and stuff like that. You know, that she can't want to have sex with her husband and all that stuff. And
it's a lot.
It's a lot of stuff that people done said here. I just want to pray. Is it all right with you? Yeah, I just want to pray for you.
Always
there's no need of doing a show, and when people reveal that they're having issues, and we don't pray about them because God is able. God can move people in your life, or somebody who can give you some counseling, can hear you in those areas. At the end of the day, you know, Jesus answered all this. So we're going to pray real quick and pray us out of here. Let's bow here. Lord God, in the name of Jesus, always Holy Ghost, we want to thank you for everything. It's not by coincidence or accident that we have in this show, we have in these topics, and the people that's on here are responding. Lord, some people right now need help in their marriage. You are a covenant partner. Whenever there's a problem within the covenant, you are obligated. You're obligated to help. As the woman, I can't remember her name, saying about her marriage of 26 years, she haven't been able to have sex with her husband because he cheated. Lord, I pray for healing. You'll give us the ministry of reconciliation. I pray that reconciliation take place and that marriage heals, not only in her life, but somebody's the cleanup woman, Lord God. I pray that they mind be renewed. They be changed, Lord. Understanding they don't have to be second to none, that you have a man for them, even in marriage, Lord God. Let us be mindful of our mates, Lord God, that they have needs, Lord God, that we solidify these relationships and not push each other out there in that cheat zone, Lord God, that we humble ourselves, especially as the head, Lord God. We have the most weight. It's our responsibility to maintain that marriage. This problem going on. It's our situation, Lord God, a responsibility to fix those problems. Continue to bless this show, bless my daughter, bless college, Lord God, bless everybody affiliated with No Longer on Mute. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, it's been real.
Yeah, that's definitely was.
Dealt with.
College, I had fun, man.
Man. I'm looking forward to next Friday because it's gonna be a tell-all. We're gonna let you know how we did what we did when we was growing up and how we kind of got to where we are now for the most part. Because I can only speak about myself when we're gonna talk about men.
Amen.
Yeah, so next week's topic is gonna be men telling on themselves.
Ladies, y'all about to come and get this free advice.
We're gonna let y'all know about the purpose that we
another joke. You say, you know what? You can't use that on me because on the talk show they said you was coming like
we giving up all the man codes.
They said you were going to say this, and that's what you saying. So I got to keep moving on.
We giving up all the man codes next Friday. All the cheat codes.
Hey, Priscilla says she enjoyed. Amen.
Thank you, Priscilla. We thank all of you all for tuning in all across the world, and we just love y'all so much. Keep praying for us. Pray for Larico, pray for Tamika, pray for Nate. Keep praying for everybody because everybody's been hit so many different ways. So let somebody listen. You see the flyer, tag, share the flyer. Share it all week. I'll be posting it more next week.
Get these women on because we're gonna tell all. Me and Carla's gonna tell. Like I said, we're gonna break the man code.
Bring Mr. J back. I tried to get Mr. J on, and he just got in. He said he just got in his recliner. So I probably have him on next Friday, so that he can, y'all ladies can hear back from him. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be he could be one of my guest speakers on the next Friday. Mr. J got a lot of wisdom. A lot of people got a lot of feedback. I don't know. It's something about y'all y'all men, y'all something else. Cause these women, they be like, where Kylie said? You know what? And Kylie's having.
What happened?
I don't got no truth.
Technical difficulties. What's going on? Okay, we back.
Difficulties. Listen, Kylie, I got these trays in my mouth, and now I can see why people when they got false teeth. I'm glad
you look like somebody grandma right there. You start.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I ain't know she had dentures. You know what I'm saying? I see you with this.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah,
my trays came off. Oh my God. It's time to take them out.
You want to edit that part out the video?
No.
We don't deal with that too. Let's deal with that.
I can't believe y'all. I can't believe that. Yes, he goes hard. I love the men you surrounded with. Yes, I got some great men around me. I wish but God know what he doing. He know what he's doing now.
So it's gonna be good.
We're around y'all too. Y'all, as long as y'all keep tuning in, we're around y'all too.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm gonna give you wisdom. Like I said, I got passion for women. That's all I do. I deal with women. I don't think I ever did a men's seminar, but I always do women's seminar because I can feel ladies. And one of the reasons why I'm just gonna add this in here. And before we even talk about marriage, God told me something. God said, until a man come in contact with his feminine side, he would never be able to relate to a woman. Mm-hmm. And that's so important. I'm going to tell you why. Because we're in a day and time where man has to be so masculine, but the truth of the matter, inside of man is female. Eve was taken out of him. So there was female inside. Even now, inside of male, there's female. You go down to the testicles, because you got X and Y chromosomes. So even now, inside of man, he has female. He got the X chromosome. Inside of him, there's living inside his testicles. So there is a female side to you. And if you don't get in touch with that female side, then you'll never be able to relate to a woman because there's X and Y inside of you.
Quick question, Dr. Tobin. So like, my experience when it comes to being in touch with my feminine side and being able to relate to women pains come from me watching my mother go through so much pain. So is that your experience as well?
No, what happens is what God had to show me is it's going to be deep. What God had to show me is this right here. I am Christ's bride, right? Notice I'm not his groom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm his bride. In my relationship, right? And this is how God had showed it to me. In my relationship with Christ, I am female. He takes care of all my needs. He provides for me. He is my husband. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing gay about it. That's the way, because the church is a she, is not a he. So God showed me, say, Daryl, and that's why a lot of men struggle in a relationship with God, because they can't relate to the female side of being married as him being a provider. Because we, in the male, in the physical, I am a provider in my relationship with my wife. But when I transform into the spirit, I'm no longer a provider. Christ is my provider. And some men can't make that shift to the female side. So he said, there, when you come to the spiritual, I am the male, you the female. So in my relationship with you, how many times when I want to be intimate with you, you don't have time. So I'm like, wow. So when I shift back over to being the male, and my wife don't have time to be into me, because when I'm Christ, now I understand what I mean with Christ, and he tells me to do X, Y, and Z, and I don't always do it. So when I come back to my wife and I want to do X, Y, and Z, so because I understand that when I'm a female in my relationship with Christ, when I make so many mistakes, it helps me to be able to be be more compassionate for your wife. When I shift back to the male, because guess what? As the female, how many times
I ain't do a good job?
How many times I don't have all the stuff that I'm requesting from my wife, what Christ is requesting from me as a female. So until I can relate to myself as a female in my relationship with God, only then can I be able to relate to my wife as the female to me.
That's mature.
That's deep.
Right. Yeah. That's when he dropped on me, because I was like, whoa.
That's deep. You're in the point where not knowing when to like be quiet and talking back and like like overstepping boundaries, like that's deep. That's deep when you like when you do that analogy and you hold those two up beside each other like that, it makes you look at everything totally different.
Yes, you can have compassion, and I begin to have compassion. because as a wife, I mess up a lot.
Facts.
So come on, think
If I ain't a good wife in the spiritual, I must have empathy for my wife in the physical. That makes
come on.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so stuff like that. But that's for marriage. That's a whole nother topic in the future.
All right. Well, family.
Yeah, my TV here.
She said like
That's why she's not talking that much. She don't want the business to slip. She trying to hold
it.
No, I'm still here listening to that.
All right, send us out.
All right, y'all. Listen, we thank you so much for joining in with Let's Deal With It. I'm your host, Victoria Nicole Hooks, and you out here with my co-host, Collis, and Dr. Dara Talbert. We love y'all. Good night, and have a blessed weekend.
Peace.